Hello, everyone. It's Amy here from the Creativity Matters podcast. Over the last few weeks, I have been working on October drawing. Many of you do Inktober during this month. This year, I did my own prompt set called Inktoportraits, and I was super excited to have a few people draw along with me. In the end, some of the prompts were easier than others, but it was fun. It was a good way to focus a portrait set for a month without having to do words that were just way outside of the I care about this zone. And as you can imagine, for me, there were a lot of stripes. The first prompt was stripes, which is what you see me working on here. But there were a lot of stripes. In hindsight, a lot of stripes. Often, when I decide the stars are aligned, and I can flip on the camera for some time lapse, it's because I'm at a point where the decisions are made, the lines are all in place, the shape is there, the eyes are there. What's left, in many cases, is hatching. Not hatching for shadows, not hatching for form, just the line work for the fill-in. And it's mindful, it's straightforward, it's relaxing. When I drew Whimsy earlier this week, I knew those stripes were partly what drew me in, partly what led me to choose this photo. And there were a lot of stripes. I realized that as I started working on it, I realized that there really were a lot of stripes. So it was a long process to fill this one in. It had been a tough day in the world, one that really got to me. And it took me a while to rein myself in that night and draw my portrait. But when I got to the hatching, to this part, this filling in of the sweater, I was able just to settle in. Your breathing changes, your body changes. You can let out some of the tension. You can just relax into the process. I don't know when mindfulness became such a thing for me, something I associate so clearly and strongly with drawing. But just like there are other words I associate with my drawing practice and habit, and with the podcast, with the Creativity Matters podcast, mindfulness is a big part of it now. A unifying thread, an undercurrent, something solid and real that underwrites and weaves in and out of my words, my stories, my drawings, my philosophy, my aesthetic, and definitely my portraits. So here's to the power of mindfulness in your creative practice. It's a benefit. It's a goal. It's a reason. It's a way of finding and cultivating balance. And I hope you find that and look for that and recognize it. I hope you recognize whatever it is in your process that gives you that ability to sink in, to settle in, to relax, and to breathe. I hope you'll join me in listening to the Creativity Matters podcast. I don't know what I'll be drawing next or when I will next flip a camera on, but there's a good chance that it will have something to do with fill-in, with the hatching of stripes or clothing or hair. I find hair particularly mindful. It's one of my favorite parts of the portrait process. But just drawing lines and filling space, there is amazing power in that. Amazing power. The power to slow yourself down, to breathe, to just focus on those lines. One line and then another and another. And the rhythm of that can be very calming, very seductive in its own way, very meaningful. So I hope you find that.